Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizky Darmawan from Group 10. The presentation material I'm going to read is mind mapping. Outline. First, definition. Second, functions. Third, types. Fourth, tutorial. And fifth, conclusion. Definition. Mind mapping is the process of transferring thoughts that are in the brain in the form of writing and pictures in a diagram that visually describes ideas, concepts, information, and authors. Functions. 1. Train yourself to understand important information. Mind mapping provides many benefits in the learning process because it will make you accustomed to organizing and grouping important information from the main concepts or ideas of the subject matter. If you are used to compiling this important information, your concentration will automatically increase. 2. Increase accuracy in collecting information. By making mind mapping independently, it will indirectly train the ability to manage the information obtained. In this case, you can group information according to the category of the theme being discussed. Thus, you will get used to organizing information in a neat and orderly manner. 3. Improve the ability to understand something. Mind mapping is very useful in improving brain function. If a person is used to making mind maps, he will automatically process or understand the material he is studying. The use of simple keywords in mind mapping will also help you remember important materials related to the main idea. 4. Increase creativity and productivity. Using a creative mind map in presenting and processing important information from a concept. For example, using graphic forms that contain images, keywords, and important phrases will indirectly hone your creativity. Besides that, making a mind map will also make you more productive. When creating a mind map, you need to determine the branching model, choose colors, determine keywords, and choose important sentence. This process can then be your motivation to be more productive and make learning activities less boring. 5. Saving time. Through the creation of a neat and structured concept map, it will be easier and save time to review material that has been read previously. That way, you can use the remaining time to study different materials. 6. Can be applied to several things. The application of mind mapping is not only in the world of education. You can also apply this method in your work or business plan. Mind maps will help you in developing strategies so that work effectiveness can be maintained. In the process, this will affect the final result of the previously set goals. Next slide. Types. The following are some examples of mind mapping. 1. Flow map. Flow maps are the most familiar form of mind maps. This mind map is very suitable for making a series of process or grouping ideas and their derivatives. Mind maps in the form of flow maps are usually also used to identify a concept or problem. This mind map is generally composed of columns that contain ideas and are connected by branches in the form of a plot. In addition, you can also create this mind map vertically or horizontally. Depends on the number of branches or steps. Next slide. 2. Circle map. If you like to group or define a concept in detail, then a circle map might be worth a try. This mind map can help to identify the concept need from the many ideas you have during brainstorming. For example, in the example image, you can see various ideas about the concept of gadgets. You can group anything related to gadgets, starting from the types to the activities you can do with these gadgets. For example, a laptop that can be used for work and watching movies. Next slide. Bubble map. Next is the type of mind map, which is usually used to clarify all concepts or ideas as briefly as possible. Bubble map has a shape like a bubble connected to a big circle as the main idea of a concept. In using this mind map, it depends on the words of the idea you want to map. This is because each of these words can help you remember the meaning of each idea in the mind map. Next. Tree map. If you are looking for a simple mind mapping example, this form can be used as an alternative. As the name suggests, this mind map mapping example is shaped like a tree. You can put the core concepts described in the map at the root of the tree. Then you can make more detailed sub-concepts into tree branches. Next slide. Tutorial. The following are the steps on how to make a mind map. 1. Determine the main topic. 2. Add branches based on main topic. 3. Break down the main branch into subtopics. 4. Connect every idea with a line. 5. Use color on the connecting line in each subtopics. 6. Develop subtopics with the most important ideas. 7. Add a small note if needed. Next slide. For more details, you can see the following image. 1. Determine the main topic. The first thing you need to do in making a mind map is to find the main topic. The topic can come from a problem you want to solve or the theme of a material you want to discuss, and is usually in the form of keywords consisting of 1, 2, 3 words. You can see in the example image, you can start by choosing a topic that has a broad meaning, such as communication. Next slide. 2. Add branches based on main topic. Next, you need to find ideas that are most closely related to the main topic and make them the first branch of that topic. In the example image, you can see that the main branches of communication are non-verbal and verbal. Non-verbal and verbal are types of communication. So, if you are still having trouble determining the main branch, try to identify it by type or other sections. Next slide. 3. Break down the main branch into subtopics. After getting the idea as a main branch, you can break it down into several subtopics. You can try to define some ideas with a smaller scope so that it can become a branch of the main branch. 4. Connect every idea with a line. After determining several subtopics, don't forget to connect each idea with a line. By using lines, it will be easier for you to understand the contents of the mind map that you create. Starting from the main topic to the most specific subtopics. Next slide. 5. Use color on the connecting line in each subtopics. To make it easier to remember each idea in a subtopic, you can add color to the connecting line or image. You can see in the example image, each topic has its own color. For example, gesture, which has a purple color. 6. Develop subtopics with the most important ideas. You will surely come across a lot of ideas that may have something to do with subtopics. However, to make an effective mind mapping, you need to determine the ideas that have the closest connection with the subtopic. That is useful for preventing you from entering ideas that you don't need. Next slide. Add a small note if needed. Not infrequently later, the mind mapping that you make can have a large number of branches, so that you don't forget the meaning of each idea. There's nothing wrong with making small notes. In addition, these notes can also be descriptions of ideas that are considered difficult or complex. Next slide. Conclusion. Mind mapping is a learning strategy that is very useful for those of us who want to solve a problem or see a subject or topic more concisely, because with mind mapping we can see an outline of what we read or create in mind mapping. It is also very effective for remembering an article or material that we note, because the concept of mind mapping prioritizes visualizations or interesting depictions that are connected to each other, not limited to just learning. Mind mapping can be used for anything, such as work and authors' activities. Okay, that's all for the presentations. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.